Schools as Centers of the Community, a Citizen's Guide for Planning and Design by Stephen Binger, Linda Kin, and Kevin Sullivan of 2003. The challenge. Number 1. Crowding, disrepair, and recession. Many of the existing schools are wearing out. The explosive enrollment continued, but the recessionary economy forced schools officials to delay adequate responses to enrollment pressures. The backlog expenses of replacing, repairing, and updating of American schools are enormous. Moreover, this estimated backlog covers only the maintenance and repairs necessary to meet the functional requirements of existing instructional programs. Number 2, challenge affords opportunity. Educational research calls for removing some of the traditional barriers between schools and non-school life, and between school and community. Students achieve better in environments where lifelong learning is a community value, where everyone is a learner, and where school is central to the life and learning of the community, accessible beyond traditional school hours. In short, the demand has never been greater for schools that addresses a broad range of educational needs. Number 3, schools as centers of the community. If the school of the future needs to be designed as a learning center for the entire community, its development must begin with the planning and design process that includes community members and reflects their needs. Schools make a difference when they serve as a center of the community. Student learning, student effectiveness, family engagement, and community vitality. 6 design principles to know. Number 1. The learning environment should enhance teaching and learning and accommodate the needs of the learners. Number 2. The learning environment should serve as a center of the community. Number 3. The learning environment should result from a planning and design process that involves all community interests. Number 4. The learning environment should provide for healthy, safety, and security. Number 5. The learning environment should make effective use of available resources. And number 6. The learning environment should be flexible and adaptable. Making it happen, getting organized, and getting started. Step 1. Initiating the planning process. Step 2. Funding the planning process. Step 3. Identifying a facilitator. Step 4. Assembling the core planning team. And step 5. Organizing the steering committee. Now involving the community. Step 6. Involving students. Step 7. Involving parents. Step 8. Involving educators. Step 9. Involving businesses. Step 10. Involving senior citizens. Step 11. Involving community, organization, and government agencies. Step 12. Involving the school board and district administration. Now, developing and implementing a master plan. Step 13. Building common understanding, shared beliefs, and a collective vision. Step 14. Determining educational needs. Step 15. Identifying resources. Step 16. Developing recommendations. Step 17. Communicating with the larger community. Step 18. Creating a master plan. And step 19. Implementing the master plan. Let us now back up these statements with school case studies. Here are 13 case studies from 13 schools. Case study number 1. Gaylord High School of Gaylord, Michigan. Built in 1996. With the community in mind, Gaylord High School serves 1,200 students in grade 9 through 12 and houses senior activities, daycares, performing arts programs, community healthcare clinics, and higher education classes. Until this school was built, the city of Gaylord lacked an auditorium for concerts, recitals, and other functions. While planning the new school, a special auditorium committee composed of educators and community members identified both schools and community needs, studied theater design, and considered the merit of a shared facility. The school's resulting Performance Arts Center serves the entire community. Its 600-seat auditorium contains a generous stage area, an orchestra pit, ample storage space, a lighting catwalk, a sound-controlled booth. Adjunct spaces include a music suite with space for band, chorus, and ensemble practices, and instrument storage. Energy efficiency and indoor air quality were a primary concern, ensuring economical and healthful operation over the life of the facility. The Performing Art Complex is located in the public area of the school and includes a large, multifunctional common space that particularly suits the variety of events held there. A large public entrance serves not only the Performing Arts Center, but the school gymnasium, administrative office, and dining area. Academic areas can be secured from the public area during evening, weekend, and summer activities. Classrooms at Gaylord High School are designed to accommodate community use too by creating departmental offices with secure staff storage. The barriers to make classrooms open and accessible after regular school hours were largely eliminated. School officials believe that community involvement in this project enabled passage of the school bond referendum. Two previous referendums had failed. The positive result of the community engagement have extended far beyond construction. Gaylord High School's activities have increased school and community interaction, communication, volunteerism, funding, and general support for students and their education. The entire Gaylord community has developed a strong, vested interest in its school, and students interact daily with a broad range of community members. Case study number 2, PS5, the Ellen Lurie School of New York. The Ellen Lurie School, known as PS Space 5, is a large pre-kindergarten through grade 5 urban elementary school that opened in 1993, located in the northern Manhattan neighborhood of Washington Heights. The school serves as a community comprised primarily of newly arrived immigrants from Dominican Republic. PS Space 5 operates in a partnership with the Children's Aid Society of New York, which offers health and family social services that are intended to remove barriers to learning. Quinn of 2003. The school's exterior is decorated in primary colors, and passerbys often refer to PS Space 5 as the Lego School. Its cheerful interiors offers a stimulating environment rich with examples of student works. There are special classrooms with separate entrances and playgrounds for the school's early childhood programs. A centrally located family room provides parents and other family members with a place to meet, socialize, and participate in workshops. Although the school principal is employed by the New York City Department of Education and the community school director is employed by the Children's Aid Society, the two have adjoining officers. This arrangement reinforces the formal and informal connections between the two organizations. PS Space 5 strong emphasizes on early literacy. Case study number 3. Center for Applied Technology and Career Exploration, Rocky Mountain, Virginia. The mission of the Center for Applied Technology and Career Exploration in Rocky Mountain, Virginia is to prepare 8th and 9th grade students for the workforce of the 21st century. The center brings together curriculum development, state-of-the-art hardware and software, parent and industry involvement in a new building designed to help instill technology in learning. On a typical school day, students spend half of their time in school homes and the other half as the center. There, they have an opportunity to investigate 8 career tracks: arts, engineering, architectural design, environmental and natural resources, finance, health and human service, legal science, aerospace, and media. As part of their learning experience, students are immersed in solving real-world problems. Instructors act as a facilitator, guiding students toward practical solution. Throughout these experiments, students learn how to address problems efficiently in diverse and collaborative groups, how to apply problem-solving skills using appropriate technology, and how to develop strategies that will help them adapt to change. Case study number 4. City Heights K-16 Educational Collaborative of San Diego, California. City Heights K-16 Educational Collaborative began in 1998 as a pilot project targeting improvements at 3 San Diego schools: Rosa Parks Elementary, Monroe Clark Middle School, and Hoover High School. The Educational Collaborative is part of the City Heights Initiative, a redevelopment project that is revitalizing an economically challenged section of the city. In this densely populated area of 72,000 residents speak more than 30 languages and scores of dialects, the diverse community has high rates of crime and unemployment. Nearly 60% of the residents earn less than $25,000 a year. 30% live below the poverty line. The City Heights initiative is seeking to create an integrated urban village by providing a strong urban core of facilities and services. The project spans 7 square blocks and covers nearly 30 acres. In addition to the 3 schools, the urban village has residential housing, a continuing educational center, a Head Start facility, a state-of-the-art library, a swimming pool, tennis courts, a performance annex, a community service center, recreational fields, and a police station. The complex also includes office spaces for a local organization funded by the City Heights Initiative. This is intended to give residents a greater voice in the community revitalization process. Case study number 5. Tenderloin Community School of San Francisco, California. Tenderloin Community School, serving 540 students pre-kindergarten through grade 5, incorporates a family resource center, a health center, counseling rooms, an adult education center, a parking garage, a preschool child development center. Many of the resident families it serves are recent immigrants from Southeast Asia and Central and South America. 2/3 of the student population is classified as limited English proficient, with native home languages including Cantonese, Spanish, Vietnamese, Tagalog, and Russian, and as well as English. The school's opening in 1998 ended a long period during which the Tenderloin was the only neighborhood in San Francisco without a high school. Prior to that time, the area's elementary school students had ridden buses to 47 different schools throughout San Francisco. The Bay Area Women's and Children's Center, BAWCC, a community organization in the heart of the Tenderloin, was instrumental in solving this problem. BAWCC brought together a collection of organizations and individuals to convince the San Francisco Unified School District that a neighborhood school was needed. BAWCC insisted that the school should be a locus of education and community activities. Space for community activities incorporates into the building. AWCC continued its strong partnership with the school and funds programs, equipment, and services that include a librarian, computers, and an instructor for the computer lab, dental clinic staff, a garden coordinator, additional pay for teachers who staff after-school clubs, and club materials and equipment. The Tenderloin's new neighborhood school enables parents to participate in their children's education, particularly since the families of most of the students live within walking distance. Its downtown proximity provides opportunities for partnership with the American Automobile Association, the McKesson Corporation, the St. Anthony Foundation, Hastings Law College, the California Department of Fair Housing and Employment, the University of San Francisco, and the agencies located in the Philip Burton Federal Building. Students participate in visual and performing art activities, and the school is part of the Adventurous in Music program, which brings ensemble groups from the San Francisco Symphony and Ballet. Case study number 6. J.F. Oyster Bilingual Elementary School of Washington, D.C. By the early 1990s, it was clear that the overcrowded and deteriorated J.F. Oyster Bilingual Public Elementary School, built in Washington, D.C., was not adequately supporting the school's national acclaimed English-Spanish immersion program. Built in 1926, the school lacked appropriate space for instruction in science, physical education, special education, art and music, and it did not comply with accessibility standards. Offices for after-school programs were squeezed into converted closed space, and neighborhood organization had no access to the school for meetings, recreation, and other community uses. This situation was dire because the city had no master or capital plan that would promise the needed building improvements. The Oyster School was placed on a list of proposed school closings, but parental concerns coalesced into a determined effort to save and improve the school. An organizing group of parents and school personnel documented facility problems and presented them to the city, requesting specific repairs. When the reply came that nothing could be done, the parent group asked if the city would support a plan for replacing the school at no cost to taxpayers. The result was the beginning of an innovative public and private development partnership among LCOR, or Incorporated, a national real estate development firm specializing in public and private partnership, the District of Columbia Public Schools, and the District of Columbia Government. LCOR would design and construct a new Oyster School in exchange for half of the school's site. On the school's half, it would build a new school building, and on the other half, it would build a privately owned 211-unit residential apartment building. The property taxes from the apartment building would be dedicated to repaying the tax-exempt bonds issued to fund construction of the school building. The 21st Century School Fund, which grew out of the original organizing group, initiated the public-private development partnership and saw the Oyster School project through to completion. 21 CSF hired experienced professionals to advise the school system on real estate, architecture, construction, finance, and legal issues. It helped the local school community, including parents, teachers, and administrative. Case study number 7, Noble High School of North Berwick, Maine. Serving students from the far-flung Maine towns of the North Berwick and Lebanon, Noble High School opened in September 2001. The school district in this rural area extends so far that only one other main district buses children more miles to school. Design and construction of the high school, which served grade 9 through 12, was seen as an opportunity to unify the expansion community, making the facility a hub for the 3 towns and creating educational centers that enabled the district to carry out a number of education reforms. To date, these reforms have brought students from the bottom third to top third in the state achievement test. The district is one of about 1,000 in the United States belonging to the coalition of essential schools with curriculums focused on project-oriented teaching. Noble High School's design grew out of a year-long planning process intended to draw input from everyone in the community. The school district held 3 public forums, made numerous presentations, distributed surveys and questionnaires to elect comments, and formed a 20-member future planning committee. Students were invited to contribute ideas as well. Learning unit of 100 students constituted the school's 15 academic communities. An interdisciplinary team of 4 teachers instructs students in math, science, English, and social studies. Each academic community has 2 classrooms, a large multi-purpose room, a science lab, a project room, and offices for administrative and small group use. The room vary in size and function, and their design affords ample flexibility. Movable partitions can be rearranged to create larger spaces. In the science rooms, gas and water lines are located on outside walls to accommodate mobile lab tables. Multi-purpose spaces have built-in display areas to highlight students' projects for review, an important part of the school's educational program. More than 2,000 data ports are located throughout the learning complex. The student and community have equal access to the resources at Noble High School. A large library and media center, an audiovisual center, television studios, and editing room. 2 gymnasiums and a fitness center are open for community use. Students enrolled in the 2-year curriculum arts program can practice their lessons while cooking for patrons, dining at the round table, a 50-seat restaurant with a separate entrance and access to the town square. The restaurant's kitchen, stocked with commercially cooking equipment, is open to the community during school hours but is separate from the school cafeteria. An adult education center also has a separate entrance and offers continuing education programs to the community members. Case study number 8. Crow Island School, Winnetka, Illinois. Crow Island School opened in 1940 and was named a National Historic Landmark in 1990. It's currently serves 430 students in grades kindergarten through 5 in the Chicago suburbs of Winnetka, Illinois. Designed by the architects and educator Elil Saarinen and the firm of Perkins Wheeler, a will, Crow Island was among the first U.S. schools to incorporate concepts of progressive education in its design. Its novel architecture sparked discussion and debate when it opened its design, a distinct department from the typical two-story square and rectangular school of the day. Williams, 1991. Crow Island design grew from the inside out, with children's needs a primary force determining individual classroom shapes and other more detailed aspects of the building. Benches in the auditorium are graduated in size, with the smallest in the front and the largest in the rear, so that the feet of every child can touch the floor. Blackboards and other fixtures are placed at the proper height for children. Door handles, light switches, and plumbing fixtures are scaled to a child's level. School design also accommodates multiple instructional strategies. L-shaped classroom includes adjacent workrooms and a private laboratory, design that permits large group instruction while offering space for ongoing individual and team projects, science experiments, reading, and independent study. The classrooms are grouped in 4 separate wings accordingly. Case study number 9. Interdistrict Downtown School, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Designed as an urban magnet school for 21st century, Interdistrict Town School, situated atop a city-owned underground parking facility on a busy Hennepin Avenue. Its neighbors include a historic theater, a university, a church, and a professional photo processing lab. The $14.2 facility serves 600 students kindergarten through grade 12 in a 102,500 square foot downtown building. The project is the result of a collaboration among 10 school districts comprising the West Metro Education Program. This includes Minneapolis, Brooklyn Center, Columbia Heights, Edina, Hopkins, Richfield, Robbinsdale, St. Anthony's, New Brighton, St. Louis Park, and Wayzata. Although the project was funded principally by a state grant, additional contribution came from private Catholic University and the Minneapolis Community Development Authority. In 1998, its first year of operation, the school served grade 3 through 8. Grades kindergarten through 2 and 9 were added in the second year, and the first class of the 12th graders graduated in June 2003. There are 3 school units: elementary, middle, and high school. Individual school teams of approximately 150 students occupy different floors of the building. Shared and community use spaces fill the street level. All school spaces are flexible, designed to accommodate different teaching and learning styles and help students learn while doing. Athletic facilities and performance spaces were not built into this school. Students use the YMCA and other nearby facilities. The building's HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and communication system are relevant on the interior to serve as teaching tools, with the principles of their operation integrated into the curriculum rather than isolating students from the surrounding environment. This multicultural school uses its location. Case study number 10. High Tech High of San Diego, California. High Tech High occupies the former Naval Training Center in San Diego. Launched in September of 2000 by a coalition of industry and educational organizations. High Tech High is a small, diverse learning community with a projected enrollment of 400 students in grades 9 through 12. The 40,000 square foot school has 14 classroom labs flanked by high ceiling open areas. The school's size affords every student his or her own workstation and plenty of workspace for group projects. Other campus tenants include a culinary school, an architectural school, a community college, an artist colony, a microeconomic development core, various public and private agencies. Plans call for a new wing to house international studies. The school's philosophy is based on 3 principles: personalization, adult world connection, and common intellectual mission. Innovative features includes performance-based assessments, daily shared planning, time for staff, state-of-the-art technical facility for project-oriented learning, required internships, and close link to the high-tech workplace. Each student has a personal learning plan and a permanent advisor, centered on a program called Habits of Mind. The curriculum is engaging and rigorous. Students create projects, solve problems, and present their work to review panels composed of advisors, mentors, parents, and community representatives. All students must complete academic internship in local businesses organization during their junior and senior years. The educational and facilities design model is being replaced in other places through a $6.4 million grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Case study number 11. Henry Ford Academy by Dearborn, Michigan. The Henry Ford Academy, located at the Henry Ford Museum, a greenfield village in Dearborn, Michigan, was developed through a partnership of the Henry Ford Museum and the Ford Motor Company and the Wayne County Regional Educational Service Agency. The academic opened in the fall of 1997 with 109 grade students by the time its first class graduated in 2001. The school had a full complement of 400 students in grade 9 through 12. The collaborative efforts of a global corporation, a prominent not-for-profit cultural organization, and the public school system has enabled an ideal integration of schools and museum environments. Henry Ford Academy used museum artifacts and exhibitions for analysis and inspiration. Math students examine the museum structure, making estimates and calculations of geometric components such as windows, walls, ceilings, and exhibition spaces. Teachers use the school partnership with the Ford Motor Company to help students find real-world applications for their discipline-based studies. After 6 years of operation, students clearly have embraced the school at a museum concept, with attendance at 98% and a test scores 3 times the Detroit average. Rather than occupying a single building, the school's grade level are located in strategic areas of the museum site. The 9th grade learning studio occupied the museum's main exhibit building, giving students access to thousands of three-dimensional museum artifacts, including automobiles, trains, airplanes, and other implements and inventions. The 9th grade studio is located within Greenfield Village, a collection of more than 80 buildings that showcase American history. These buildings include the Wright Brothers Bicycle Shop, Thomas Edison's laboratory, and Noah Webster's house. The studio utilizes movable walls between major learning spaces, providing teachers and students with flexibility for team teaching and cooperative learning. The 11th grade studio is located nearby in a structure that once housed a 19th century carousel. Here, a large gathering space is supplemented with modular learning lab to provide a variety of teaching and learning environments. Case study number 12, Med Center, Providence, Rhode Island. The Metropolitan Regional Career and Technical Center is a small grade 9 through 12 public high school open to students living in Rhode Island. Its philosophy is to educate one student at a time, with each student's curriculum reflecting his or her unique interests, background, and learning style. Instead of teachers, students have advisors who are responsible for facilitating and assessing each student's learning. An advisory, a group that includes a maximum of 14 students, begin in the 9th grade and remains together until graduation. The long-term relationship between advisors and students is intended to aid students motivate and learn. According to the Big Picture Company, an education reform organization that founded and managed Med Center, the physical design of the school helps to shape the learning within it. Co-director Elliot Washor says it is the company's vision to create physical spaces for big picture schools that supports approach to personalized real-world education and family and community engagement. Big picture school buildings are intended to be a home base from student learnings in the real world. Our focus in our building relationship and our physical space must support this effort. All aspects of our buildings play a role, from lighting to furniture and technology, to productive spaces for project and group work, to quiet, comfortable places for individual focus and reflection. Washer 2003. Med Center's first campus opened in the Shepherd Building in downtown Providence in September of 1996. In 1999, a second campus opened of P Street in 2002. 4 additional med school buildings opened on a center campus in South Providence, along with a fitness center, a performance space, and a state-of-the-art technology center. As part of their learning plan, Med Center students spend 3 days a week at their home-based school, where overall enrollment is limited to 6 advisories. Students participate in extended learning experience 2 days a week in an off-site location such as a hospital, professional office, government office, or restaurant. And lastly, case study number 13. School of Environmental Studies, Minneapolis, Minnesota. The School of Environmental Studies, or SES, at the Minnesota Zoological Gardens is an optional high school that accommodates 400 juniors and seniors drawn from 4 large comprehensive high schools in the 28,500 student Rosemount Apple Valley Eagan Public School District in suburban Minneapolis. SES opened in 1995. The full-day school offers a complete program of curricular opportunities through students may elect to return to their home high schools for band, choir, specialized academic offerings, and athletics. The 12-acre SES site gives students ready access to zoo facilities as well as to those of the adjacent 3,000-acre Lebanon Hills Regional Park, both within a short walk. The site is being developed by SES students and staff to create a variety of environmental learning laboratories and programs. The school is socially structured into houses, pods, and work groups. The primary unit is a house of approximately 100 students. The school has 2 junior and 2 senior houses, each with 3 instructors, certified in English and communication, social education, and science. Within each house, there are secondary level pods of approximately 10 students, as well as a tertiary level work groups. Main instructional problems of challenges are analyzed in work groups, which are seized according to the nature of the problem posed and the desired approaching to solve it. Pods are physical as well as social structures. Each pod has individual desks, 2 shared wardrobes, and a circular conference table. Students take both groups and individual ownership of these spaces. The pods are set around a centrum or a great space that forms the primary instructional area.